if you want to power this metaverse, you need the cloud computing providers, and more specifically, you need a lot of computing power.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. I'll only be 10 seconds. This week, we're giving away a free $50 Amazon gift voucher. All you have to do is like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a constructive comment on one of our GEMS newsletter publications. The link to the newsletter is in the description. Enjoy the vid. The full podcast with Rihard drops Monday next week.
This field is still so undeveloped in terms of we don't know which companies are going to lead. How is it going to look like, really, right? But so far, what I'm interested most is, okay, one is my investment in Meta, because I think they have a good position when it comes to owning the hardware part, but also kind of the platform and the take rates they can do on the platform. And especially on the AR front, like that's really interesting. But then the other assets, for example, I didn't mention this in the article, but it's sort of an add-on to the article, I would say, are also cloud computing providers. So even though cloud, is a field of its own, if you want to power this metaverse, you need the cloud computing providers, and more specifically, you need a lot of computing power. So from AWS, Azure, Google, if you will, even NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA with its kind of, I think it's called Omniverse platform, right? So it's a similar concept. You're gonna need a lot of GPUs and processing of images. So the cloud providers are, I guess, the most safe bet right now, because they're on top, right? They're the first layer, and make it so that the other layers are also there. When it comes to other investments, it's crypto right now is too volatile, right, for most people. But if you look at some of maybe the potential assets, I mentioned ENS. So this is it's like GoDaddy for kind of your identity domain. I think they can, even if Meta goes ahead with its Horizon Worlds and its own platforms, they probably still can or will use a domain that register or the identity register as ENS, because it has grown to kind of be the standard, and they don't need to own that piece and sell it. They can just use it. So ENS probably, I think I'm also interested. And then on the chip side, I don't own chip makers yet, so NVIDIA, AMD, whatever, Qualcomm, just because I think they have other problems right now with the buildup in inventory. But otherwise, it's also, you will need more and more chips. That's the fact, right? But the problem is here, if you go directly to foundries more, or if you want chip designers, because everybody is starting to skip the chip designers. So Apple doing their own chips now, even ByteDance, so TikTok, right? They went direct to foundries. So it's a question if the chip designers will be able to have the same market if the concept of the metaverse goes off, or if the big players like Amazon, Microsoft go directly to foundries and just kind of they feed them the chips, right? Because they will be the computing provider, so they will need the chips. So yeah, other. I also had for some period an investment in a stock called Matterport. They do this kind of AR visualization, 3D visualization of your room or apartment or house or whatever. But again, iPhone also launched this feature, and it's always a problem with big tech. Big tech, when a field becomes too interesting, they pound in it and they basically squeeze all the small guys out. So, yeah, I would say so far this ones, and I also own a bit of Ether, just because I think it's it has become the standard again for this kind of first movers in the space. So people, as we said before, NFTs and DeFi projects and stuff like that. The people are kind of they joined with Ether for the let's say standard, right? You also have other like Solana and Polygon and stuff like that, but it seems like they're more in the low end and Ether is in the high end, right? So I think Ether with its with its fork or whatever, when it happens, will be more competitive to other protocols. So yeah, that's kind of the overview.